Have you ever thought about the stories behind wrestling matches? Some are exciting, but others have a sad side. Did you know that some wrestlers faced unexpected tragedies during their matches? It's true. Today, we're going to explore the lives of these brave athletes who sadly passed away while doing what they loved. Are you curious to learn more? Let's uncover their stories together. Plum Mariko. Did you know that Japan has a rich wrestling history, just like Mexico and the United States? One of the stories is the tragic death of Plum Mariko during a match. Before 1997, Japan's wrestling world had never faced a tragedy like this. Plum Mariko was really talented, but she had some bad luck with injuries. One of those injuries caused a big problem, an abscess in her brain. The doctors warned her to be careful because of all the concussions she had, but she didn't listen. She kept wrestling. Then one day, during a wrestling match in Hiroshima, Plum Mariko took a move called the Liger Bomb from her opponent, Mayumi Ozaki. But something went terribly wrong. Plum passed out, and they said it was because that abscess in her brain burst open. Sadly, Plum Mariko didn't make it. It's a really tragic story that reminds us all how dangerous wrestling can be sometimes. Jeanette Wolfe. Imagine being a young woman stepping into the world of professional wrestling. That was Jeanette Wolfe's reality. She competed under the name Jeanette Wolfe in the early days of women's professional wrestling. Jeanette had a remarkable connection to the wrestling world. She was the foster daughter of Mildred Burke, a legend in the industry. And not only that, she had the opportunity to work alongside the iconic Mae Young. But tragedy struck in 1951. Jeanette had 2 matches scheduled for the day. In the first match, she took a basic body slam and started feeling headaches afterward. Despite this, she decided to go ahead with her second match as planned. During this second match, something went terribly wrong. Jeanette collapsed on the ring apron, and she never woke up. It was later revealed that she had suffered a fatal brain hemorrhage just minutes into the contest. Jeanette Wolfe was only 18 years old at the time of her passing. It's a heartbreaking reminder of the risks involved in the world of professional wrestling and the importance of safety precautions. Brian Ong. Have you heard about the tragic accident involving Brian Ong? So, here's what happened. Brian Ong was in a training session with WWE's The Great Khali, also known as Duleep Singh Rana. Ong had already suffered a concussion before the training session even began. And get this, he wasn't wearing proper gear for the training. During the session, there was a move called a flapjack that went wrong. Ong forgot the safety steps for the move, and he ended up landing really badly on his head and tailbone. It was a serious injury. But what made things even worse was that the people running the training session didn't act quickly to get Ong medical help. And because of that delay, Brian Ong passed away. Oro. In Mexico, there's a famous style of wrestling called lucha libre, and one of its stars was Oro. He was part of the Hernandez family, which is super famous in the wrestling world. Oro wore a mask and did all kinds of cool aerial moves in the ring during the match. But something really sad happened. There was this one match where Oro was supposed to take a big fall onto his head. It was all planned out with his opponent to make the fight more exciting. But sadly, when Oro landed, something went wrong. He hurt his head really badly, and it caused a brain problem called an aneurysm. Oro was just 21 years old. It's really sad to think about what could have been for Oro. He was a rising star in lucha libre, and his family was so well known in the wrestling world. But because of that one accident, he lost his life. Moondog Spot. Ever heard of Moondog Spot? If you're into wrestling, you might know him. He was part of a tag team called the Moondogs, known for their crazy antics in the ring. But did you know Moondog Spot also had a solo career and worked behind the scenes as a booker in the 1970s and 80s? Fast forward to 2003, Moondog Spot, whose real name was Larry Booker, wasn't actively wrestling anymore. But he made a special appearance for Jerry, the King Lawler's birthday celebration. Unfortunately, this decision ended tragically. During the match, Moondog Spot suffered a fatal heart attack. This was a shock to everyone, especially because of his history with diabetes. It's sad when someone's passion leads to such a tragic end. Gary Albright. Did you know that Gary Albright was part of the legendary Anoa'i wrestling family? Yeah, the same family that gave us wrestling superstars like Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Gary wasn't born into the family like the others. He actually married into it, tying the knot with his wife Monica. But that didn't stop him from making a name for himself in the wrestling world. Known as the master of the suplex, Gary Albright had a tough and ready style that made him stand out in promotions like All Japan and Stampede Pro Wrestling. But tragedy struck on January 7, 2000. While performing for World Extreme Wrestling, Gary was hit with a bulldog maneuver by his opponent. The impact left him unconscious in the ring. It turned out that Gary had suffered a heart attack, partly due to his diabetes and poor coronary history. It was a shocking moment for everyone in the wrestling community. After his passing, a tribute show was held in his honor to remember the incredible legacy he left behind. Emiko Kato. Emiko Kato was just starting her career as a pro wrestler. At only 23 years old, she was a rookie performer, eager to make her mark in the ring. But her journey took a devastating turn on March 31, 1999. During a tag team match, Kato suffered a severe blow to the head. The impact was so powerful that it knocked her unconscious. Little did anyone know at the time, this blow would lead to something much more serious. After the match, it became clear that Kato had suffered massive intracerebral bleeding as a result of the injury she sustained in the match. Despite being rushed to the hospital and receiving medical attention, the damage was too severe. Tragically, Emiko Kato passed away in the hospital on April 9, 1999. Her death sent shockwaves through the wrestling community, as it was only the second time a Japanese professional wrestler had died due to injuries sustained in the match. Pero Aguayo, Jr. Ever heard of Pero Aguayo, Jr.? His life and legacy might not be widely known outside of Mexican wrestling, but his tragic death in 2015 made big headlines. Pero Aguayo, Jr. was in the ring with WWE superstar Rey Mysterio. They were facing off in a tag team match when Rey went for his signature move, the 619. But something went terribly wrong. When Rey set up for the move, his dropkick hit Aguayo hard, fracturing 3 vertebrae in his neck. The impact was so severe that Aguayo suffered a heart attack and tragically passed away almost instantly. It was a shocking and heartbreaking moment for the wrestling world, and it shed light on the dangers that wrestlers face every time they step into the ring. Owen Hart. Why do fans still hold Owen Hart dear to their hearts? Well, let's dive into the life and career of this beloved wrestler. On May 23, 1999, tragedy struck the wrestling world. Owen Hart, a talented wrestler known for his charisma and skill, met with a fatal accident at the WWF's Over the Edge pay-per-view event. While attempting an entrance stunt involving a quick-release drop from the Kemper Arena rafters to the ring below, the mechanism failed, causing Owen to fall to his death. The shocking incident left fans both at the arena and watching at home in disbelief. Following Owen's untimely death, his widow Martha filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the WWF/WWE. The legal battle that ensued ended with a settlement of $18 million. However, no amount of money could fill the void left by Owen's passing. Mitsuharu Misawa. Do you know who Mitsuharu Misawa is? He's considered one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. One of his most famous matches was against his rival Toshiaki Kawada on June 3, 1994. People still talk about it today. But sadly, Misawa's wrestling journey came to a tragic end. In June, 25 years later, during a tag team match, something terrible happened. After taking a back suplex move, Misawa couldn't get up from the ring. It was a shocking moment. He was only 46 years old. Do you know what happened next? Sadly, Mitsuharu Misawa passed away. It was a devastating loss for the wrestling world. The cause of his death wasn't officially released, but it was believed that the impact from the move caused severe damage to his neck. The Hiroshima police mentioned this in a statement after Misawa's passing. As we wrap up, it's heartbreaking to reflect on the lives of these wrestlers who tragically lost their lives in the ring. Their passion for wrestling was undeniable, but their untimely deaths serve as a reminder of the risks involved in this sport. Let's honor their memory by cherishing the moments we have and advocating for the safety of all athletes. If you found this video informative, please consider subscribing to our channel for more content. Together, let's spread awareness and ensure that no more lives are lost prematurely in the wrestling world. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and take care.